Forget the individual rungs for just a second. We have climbed all 5 of them together. 500 a month, 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, and each one had its own number and its own feeling. But step back from the staircase and something bigger comes into focus. Across the entire ladder, top to bottom, there is exactly one lever that moves you up faster than anything else, and there are 4 traps that quietly strand people on the lower steps forever. This finale hands you both, the fastest, honest way up, and the 4 ways people get stuck. No new rung today, just the whole climb, tied together so you leave with a map you can actually use. Here is how we close this out. First, I am going to recap the one idea the whole ladder runs on, and then show you all 5 rungs in a single frame, one clean sweep of the climb so you can see the shape of the whole thing. Then 6 final ideas. 1. The whole climb in one breath. 2. The single lever that moves you fastest, and it is not what you think. 3. Why every rung comes faster than the last. 4. The first trap, yield chasing. 5. The other 3 traps that stall people, dividend tunnel vision, lifestyle creep, and quitting too early. And 6. The real scoreboard. What this ladder was actually about the whole time. Then the fastest, honest playbook for every rung. Let us zoom out. This is the last episode, so let me hand you the core idea one final time, because it is the thing I most want you to keep. Every rung on this ladder runs on one number. There is a long-standing planning rule of thumb that a sensible invested pile can pay out about 4% of itself every year, roughly forever, without the pile running dry. It is a rule of thumb, not a guarantee, but it is the anchor for everything. Run it backwards and it collapses into head math. To find the pile that funds a monthly income, you multiply that monthly income by 300. That is the whole ladder in one move. Monthly income you want times 300 equals the machine that pays it. So here is the entire climb in one sweep. Rung 1, 500 a month, times 300 is $150,000 invested. Your first proof the machine is real. Rung 2, 1,000 a month, 300,000, a real paycheck. Rung 3, 2,500 a month, 750,000, coast mode, where the machine covers your core bills. Rung 4, 5,000 a month, 1.5 million, where work becomes optional. And rung 5, 10,000 a month, $3 million, full financial independence. 5 rungs, 1 multiplication each. That is the whole ladder, on one staircase. Now let me show you how to climb it fast. Unlock 1. Take the whole climb in one breath, because seeing the shape of it changes how you feel about your own step. For 6 episodes, we have looked at each rung up close, its number, what it buys, what it changes. That is the right way to learn it. But when you are standing on the first step with 150,000 as your target, it is easy to feel like the finish line is somewhere in the clouds. So zoom all the way out. Every single rung is the same machine. It is the same broad index pile, the same 4%, the same times 300 math, just scaled up. There is nothing new to learn at rung 4 that you did not already learn at rung 1. The mechanism does not change. The vehicle does not change. Only the size of the number changes. That means the skill you build climbing from 0 to your first machine is the exact same skill that carries you to the top. You are not learning 5 different things. You are doing one thing, repeatedly, at larger and larger scale. Once you have seen the whole staircase as a single shape, your own step stops feeling like a wall and starts feeling like what it actually is, the first repetition of a motion you now know by heart. The climb is one move, done over and over, and once that clicks, the whole ladder stops looking like a mountain and starts looking like a habit. A small thing you repeat until the numbers get big on their own. Unlock 2. And this is the most important idea in the entire series. If there is one lever that moves you up this ladder faster than anything else, it is your savings rate, the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is the fuel for every machine you build. And here is why it beats everything else people obsess over. It beats chasing a higher return, because returns are not yours to control. The market does what it does, and reaching for more return usually just means taking on more risk. It beats waiting for a bigger salary, because a raise you spend entirely moves you nowhere. And it beats trying to pick winning stocks, which even professionals fail at reliably. Your savings rate is different from all of those because it is the one number you fully, genuinely control. Nobody sets it for you. If you earn a normal income and save a small slice, the climb takes a long time. If you widen that gap, earn a little more, or spend a little less, and send the difference to the machine, the climb speeds up dramatically, and it speeds up now, not someday. Two people with the exact same salary and the exact same investments can end up rungs apart, purely because one kept a wider gap between earning and spending. The savings rate is the accelerator pedal of this entire ladder. It is boring, it is unglamorous, and it is the single number that decides how fast you climb. Everyone wants the secret to be a clever investment. The real secret is much quieter. Keep more of what passes through your hands and hand it to the machine. Unlock 3. Here is the gift, hiding inside the climb. Every rung comes faster than the one before it. This feels wrong at first, because the numbers keep getting bigger. 150,000, then 300, then 750, then 1.5 million. Surely bigger gaps take longer, but compounding is backloaded, and that changes everything. Early on, your pile is small, so almost all the progress comes from money you personally add. The machine is barely contributing. It is too small to help much yet. But as the pile grows, it starts throwing off real growth of its own, and that growth stacks on top of your contributions. By the upper rungs, the machine is adding more each year than you are. The jump from 1.5 million to 3 million actually arrives quicker than the crawl from 0 to your first 150,000, because now you have a giant engine pushing alongside you. Think about what that really means for where you are standing. The discouraging early grind, that first slow rung where nothing seems to move, is the slowest the climb will ever be. It does not get harder from here. It gets easier, and then it gets easy, because the machine takes over more of the work at every step. You are pushing hardest at the very bottom. After that, the ladder accelerates under your feet. So if you are down at the bottom right now feeling the grind, take heart. You are not doing it wrong. You are simply standing on the steepest part of a slope that flattens the higher you go. Unlock 4, and now we turn to the traps, the 4 ways people get stranded. Trap 1 is the big one, yield chasing. It goes like this. You are climbing the boring way, adding to a broad index machine, and it feels slow. Then you spot something advertising 8, 10, 12%. A shiny yield that looks like it could rocket you up the ladder overnight, so you reach for it. And that reach is how people blow up the very engine that was going to carry them. Those spectacular headline yields are almost always fragile. Payouts that get cut the moment things get hard, sitting on top of capital that quietly erodes underneath you. You chase the high number, the payout collapses, the principal shrinks, and suddenly, the machine that was supposed to pay you forever is smaller and weaker than when you started. This is the callback to everything we covered in the engine room. The fast way up this ladder is not a higher yield. Let me say that as plainly as I can. The accelerator is not a bigger percentage on a riskier asset. The accelerator is a higher savings rate poured into a boring, broad, reliable machine. A steady return you can actually count on beats a spectacular one that breaks right when you need it. Every time you are tempted to reach for yield, remember, you are not speeding up the climb. You are risking the whole machine. The boring engine is the fast lane. It just does not look like it from the on-ramp. Unlock 5. If yield chasing blows the engine up, the next 3 traps quietly stall you in place. Trap 2 is dividend tunnel vision. getting so fixated on the income a portfolio spits out that you stop watching your total wealth. You start optimizing for the highest yield instead of the highest total return, and you can actually go backwards while feeling like you are winning because the check arrives even as the pile shrinks. Watch total return, not just the payout. Trap 3 is lifestyle creep, and this one is sneaky because it does not feel like a mistake. Every time your income rises and you let your spending rise right along with it, you raise your own finish line. Remember the times 300 math. Every extra $500 a month, you decide you cannot live without just added $150,000 to the pile you need. The ladder literally gets taller as you climb it, and some people never reach the top because they keep moving it up. And trap 4 is the quietest and the most common, quitting before the first 150,000. That first rung is the slowest, most thankless stretch of the entire climb. The machine is too small to help, so it is all you, grinding. And that is exactly where most people give up. They walk away right before the compounding kicks in, right before the engine was about to start pushing. Do not quit on the slowest rung. That is the one that unlocks all the others. Unlock 6, and this is the thesis of the entire series, the thing I most want you to carry out of these 7 episodes. The ladder was never really about the number. It was never about hitting $3 million or $10,000 a month or beating anyone else's net worth. Those are just markers on a wall. What the machine actually buys back is a life. Time you are not selling to a job, choices you get to make freely, security that does not depend on a boss or a good economy, and the quiet freedom to say no to things you do not want to do. That is the real scoreboard. And here is the part the internet almost never tells you. Enough is a number you get to choose, and it is usually far lower than you have been led to believe. You do not have to climb to the very top rung to win. Plenty of people find that coast mode, or work optional, is more than enough life for them. And they step off the ladder there on purpose, happy. The goal was never to accumulate the biggest possible pile. The goal was to buy back your own time and then actually go live. Direction and patience beat everything else in this game. Not intensity, not cleverness, not perfect timing, just pointing the right way and refusing to stop. If you are pointed the right way and you keep going, you win, no matter which rung you decide is your enough. So here is the fastest, honest playbook, and it works for every single rung on this ladder. First, maximize your savings rate. Widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and treat that gap as the fuel it is, because it is the one lever you fully control and the thing that decides how fast you climb. Second, build one boring, broad, low-cost index machine. Not a basket of hot stocks, not a chase for the highest yield, just quiet ownership of the whole market doing its work. Third, reinvest everything the machine pays you until you actually need the income, so the snowball feeds itself and pulls every finish line closer. Fourth, sidestep the 4 traps on purpose. Do not reach for yield and blow up the engine. Do not tunnel on dividends while your total wealth slips. Do not let lifestyle creep raise your finish line every time you get a raise. And do not quit on that slow first rung right before the machine starts helping. Fifth, define your real enough. Decide honestly which rung is your get-off point, because a number you have chosen on purpose is worth more than an endless climb toward someone else's. And sixth, start with the very next paycheck. Not next year, not when you feel ready, the next one. Because here is the whole ladder in a sentence. It compounds, and every rung is faster than the last. The hardest step is the one right in front of you, and it only gets easier from there. So that is the ladder. All 5 rungs, 1 lever, 4 traps, and 1 honest playbook to climb it. Thank you for climbing the whole thing with me. Before you go, tell me in the comments, which rung is your real get-off-here number? Where is your enough? I genuinely want to know. Remember, this has been education, not financial advice, just the map, laid out as honestly as I know how. There is no next episode to tease this time, because this is the finale. Instead, go back to episode 1 and binge the whole ladder from the first rung, and then go build your own first machine this month with the very next paycheck. I will see you out there on the climb.